I like to think that I'm a generous person. I like to feel that I give as much as I can in life, you know? Because when you look around you in this life, you see so much possessiveness, you know? Everybody wants to own everything. Everybody wants to have everything. And we're not just talking about material possessions, because that's part of it, but they also want to be the number one, you know? I want to be the best person on Facebook. I want to have the most likes, guys. I want to be the most popular person here. I want to be famous. I want to be rich. I want to be a sexy man. You know? All these things are kind of possessiveness, forms of possessiveness in a way, you know. They're selfish. They're selfish, egotistical, ghastly things, really, that kind of make you want to vomit when you see people displaying these things. But to themselves, you know, they think they're marvellous. I think possessiveness, you know, possessiveness towards people, there's one too, isn't it? Look, you know, people like to be control freaks, want to make sure they control the situation, you know, and that's comes from a terrible sort of deep fear of those things. You know, nobody's going to do anything unless I'm in control, you know. God, blimey, it's all around us, isn't it? This form of selfish possessiveness, both of people, both of possessions themselves, you know, I'm saying this is a display of dreadful conditions that infect so many people today. So I'm saying we got to learn to be, and we should be. We can easy to do it, to be generous, you know, to give a bit. You don't always have to give all your money away, you know, that would be foolish. Oh, well, good to give some of it though, but foolish to give the lot. But you've got to kind of be generous in your spirit, in your heart, and in what you do, and try to, you know, I mean, I've got a great friend who's got very little money, and every time we go out, he always rushes to the bar or to the restaurant and pays, even though he knows he's got less than me. I think, well, great, you know, we fight to pay the bill, you know, we're secretly telling waiters, can you pay the bill for me before he sees, you know. That's a real friend, because that's a generous hearted person, you know, and it balances out in the end. We end up paying the same amount each, you know, and you know, sometimes he's got more money than me, and sometimes I've got more money than him, and it all works out, you know. But that's good. That's not selfish. It's very. I don't know many people like that. Most people, when you go to say a bar, I'm not a drinker, but you know, when I go to the bar, I was used to notice when I was a nipper, there were certain ones that would always somehow be at the back, you know, last in, you know, selfish with even something as benign as that, you know, awful as that really. But so selfishness destroys our virtue. You know, it's done for the wrong reasons. We seem to want to possess everything, you know. And when I think about it, if you think about it in terms of the psychic skills and the gifts that we have as a psychic and a medium, now obviously we've got to make a living, so we obviously have to we have to charge people for private readings. But it's also good to give some back. That's why Jane and I try to do this work with our foundation, to try to give a bit back as well, you know, to do work that raises money to help others. This is what we would call service. Or in the Hindu sense, in the Vedic sense, because I keep coming back to this because my books are so much about this, but seva we call it. It's rather than holding on to something, it's a matter of letting go, you know. And we can do that in our lives. A lot of our problems are because we're holding on to things. We're holding on to things, the memories we hold on to, almost like that same selfishness that we exhibiting in life, we're doing in our life. It should be like this, it should be like this. No, let go. And actually it's like this, it is, you know. A lot of this possessiveness comes from a sort of fear of being without, a fear of going forward in life, a fear of staying in the present, a fear of the past, you know. William Blake said, didn't he? He said, he who binds himself to a joy doth the winged life destroy. In one of his, I think it was in Poems of Innocence and Experience, one of those. But lovely that, you know, we bind ourselves and we destroy the very thing we try to bind ourselves for. And it happens a lot in relationships, in love. People bind themselves to someone and suffocate them until the point that that person has to run away, you know. So being generous empowers us. Because what we're doing then is not for egotistical reasons, it's done for non-egotistical reasons. We want it to be done for its own sake. Being generous, a lovely way to be generous, is to be generous without anybody even knowing you've been generous, secretly, you know, leave a £20 note around your grandma's, you know. So we're not expecting reward from it. That's what I'm saying, because that has to be there's qualities to generosity. There can be a sort of a display of generosity. Look, The round's on me, lads, I've got plenty of money, you know. Or there can be the generosity where, you know, you quietly gave some money to a beggar and didn't tell anybody, and he didn't even know you put it in the hat. You know, that's the sort of different, that's where the generosity has to come from. It has to come from that sincerity of giving, not this selfish giving in a way, right? So, you know, I think when we become more generous, we actually have less attachment. We have less attachment perhaps to the body when we do things like yoga, for example. And gymnastics and things, we would have to do it in a way that we're not looking to the rewards, we're looking to the health. You see, we're not looking for the ego bits. And it's the same with our inner work. We don't want to be attached to the idea that I'm now an enlightened person. I'm an enlightened person. No, that's a terrible attachment, an awful self-righteous lot of nonsense, you know. The more we attach ourselves to all things in life, the more fear we create. We attach ourselves to a body, we become more frightened about going to the doctors, you know. We become more frightened of death, you know. So actually, when we let go, when we become a truly generous person, you know, then we become fearless beings. We actually overcome death itself. Because when we go into the next world, and that, like I said at the beginning, shrouds have no pockets, you know, we know that, and we're free. We're free beings. By giving, we receive the absolute, you know. Anyway, there you go. That's all about generosity. My name's Craig Hamilton Parker, and together with my wife Jane, we have spent our lives working as psychic mediums. That is, we've been endeavouring to give proof of life after death to the bereaved, and to help people, both through our demonstrations in theatres and also on the television. We have worked internationally and have done many top-rated shows, such as The Spirit of Diana. But a large part of the income we've had has been given to charity. But now we feel, unlike other mediums who have gone out and made themselves millionaires through this work, we have decided we want to give all our public work to charity. And in order to do this, we have set up the Hamilton Parker Foundation. This foundation will have the primary objective of building spiritual centres around the world where people can enjoy mediumship and learn about mediumship, meditation, and also Eastern techniques such as the Nadi oracles through our centres. Jane and I have had the pleasure of working with top celebrities who support and enjoy our work as mediums. We hope to open centres around the world in which mediumship can be taken to a new level. But more importantly, we also want to reach out to the world to help people in need, to help the destitute through spiritual service. Jane and I have already supported people in India, giving cows, giving food, and helping educational establishments in the most needy places in India. We would like your help to help us continue this work, not only to take mediumship and the spiritual world to a new level to set a great example to the world, but also to help the poor and distressed. Something that can help the world to move into a better place, for us all to become better people. And by helping us, what you do, and this is part of the theory of what we teach, by helping us, you also help to clear your own karma. You clear the negative energy from past lives from helping others. Would you like to know more? Why not come to our website and follow us on Facebook, and maybe look at some of our videos on YouTube. I think it's become apparent to all of us that the world is going through a very difficult time. And in these desperate days, when a dark shadow comes across the world, we need people of spirituality. But it doesn't matter what religion you have, it doesn't matter what beliefs you have, it doesn't matter where you've come from and what you've done in life. What matters is what matters in your heart. If you feel that you are a person that can make a difference in this world, then your spirit will lift the world. But we also need your help to make our project work. Only together can we make a difference, and that difference may be you.